Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sisters. We're on season 9, episode 9, entitled Return to Sender. So Uncle Ben, Mr. Frank, whatever his name is, the one night stand that Sabrina was trying to hook up with the night before, he has fallen asleep on the couch, and after failing to launch the night prior, you would think he had put in overtime, and no ma'am, that's definitely not the case. Either way, Sabrina is outdone with herself. She does the absolute, what I presume to be the absolute minimum. Like, she was whispering to him like, get up, good morning Frank, come on, get up, you gotta go. Girl, if you don't flip that couch and flip him on the floor so he can get the hell up. But anyway, she's doing the minimum amount of stuff to get him to wake up. And then she calls Maurice to help her get her out of this because he's the one that got her into it, so she says. And of course, he doesn't offer any sane advice. He's talking about a pot of grits, a pot of hot water, you know, set him on fire, anything just to get him up out of there. But she takes a silver approach, and she ends up kind of throwing her bedroom shoe, her slipper, at him, and he wakes up. And he wakes up the next morning refreshed and exuberant, like, oh, you know, back to the business at hand. She was like, girl, and he's like, and Sabrina's like, girl, what business? We don't have no business. As a matter of fact, you made parole. You can go ahead and head out, and we're good here. So this was a failed mission at Sabrina, you know, getting back in the streets, back to the streets, trying to sow her wild oats. All of that is a lost cause. All right. So we see Fatima, and she wakes up the next day with new energy because, you know, I guess she's unburdened herself with the thoughts about the baby situation. So she has breakfast with her and Zach. And of course, we know that he knows that he's overheard the conversation. So he's still in a slump. And he wants to know, like, what got you so giddy? What got you so happy? She's like, you know, I just feel refreshed. I'm good. He was like, okay. I know we had a little tiff yesterday, you know, going back and forth with the words, you know, getting our feelings out. Was there anything at all that you didn't get off your chest? Anything at all that you want to tell me? And she was like, no, I'm good, love. What we talking about? He was like, okay. He knows that she's holding back the information about what he overheard the night prior. But then he asked her specifically about Karen. Like, how do you feel about Karen, the hospital, the entire situation? How do you feel about it? And she was kind of looking at him like, okay, the jig is up. Let me go ahead and let him know what's going on. But before she can do so, she gets a phone call. And the phone call is from Chaz, or whatever his name is, one of the basketball players she's working with at the law firm. And he's calling her first thing in the morning. Oh, hey, baddie. Like, just real unprofessional, real crossing the lines or whatever. And he's a bit too informal while Zach is sitting next there to Fatima. And he's like, you know, what's up with your boy? And she was like, remember I told you it's the basketball player. At least I was trying to tell you in and out your little slumps of depression, what's going on at the law firm. But she assures him like, hey, I know you want to play 21 questions, but I got this under control. I know what my boundaries are. I know how to set them with him. But he's like, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I know men like that, and he's going to be a problem later on down the line. So you're going to have to nip this in the bud sooner rather than later. So now he's going to sit in that and stew in that all day, and that's just going to become the latest in the saga that is Fatima and Zach. And we all know that I don't know if we all know, but I work very hard to keep myself separate from what's going on the internet before I actually record my reviews. However, I did come across something that was like, well, how dare Zach get this sort of mad with Fatima? Because by the end of the review, you'll see, like, we're probably going to come to blows next week when it comes to Zach and one of the football players. But that's just his misdirected anger with everything else that's happened in the last couple of days. Granted. But keep in mind, you came with a baby you knew nothing about that you had to take into your house over in the Fatima franchise. You came with no money. You came up on a scheme. You came into a lot of money. You had Karen. You had other potential baby mamas. Like, there was a lot that came within the first few weeks of y'all even being together. All of which Fatima took like a champ. She took it on the chin. She stuck it out with you. She got you the job, if I'm not mistaken, the job with flipping houses or whatever the job is that she put him on with the second chance committee. I don't know the name of the people. Either way, she gave you that. She got you off that bicycle. And not that you owe her anything, but the scales of grace is a little bit unbalanced, if you were to ask me. Either way, we're going to move right along. So Andy, she goes to Karen and she's telling her like, hey, this is everything I found out about Dr. Cruz. Black people have been, you know, falling dead on his watch left and right. I'm ready to go after his license. I'm ready to get you your justice. What say ye? And Karen is like, I don't know about this friend. I don't know about this friend. She's like, listen, I want to get what you and your baby deserve. I want to get you compensation. I want to, make things right. And Karen tells her, like, listen, none of this will ever be right. None of this will ever bring my baby back. None of this will ever undo what's been done. And I'm not in a place. And so much so that this tasking, this route that you're trying to get me to take is a reminder of the absolute worst day of my life. Actually, it's a reminder, a reiteration of the constant reminder of the worst day of my life. And it's not something that I can take on right now. And I absolutely agree with Karen. I think that Andy can sue the hospital and sue Dr. Cruz and do everything sans Karen. Like, Karen can maybe write a statement or do a video something. She doesn't have to be as intimately involved, or I'm hoping that there would be a way that she would not have to be as intimately involved, because she's still in what I'm assuming is postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, grieving the loss of the baby forever. There's a whole lot that she still navigates mentally, and that's like putting a SA victim on the stand to witness against the perpetrator. She has to not only tell somebody that's going to, stand behind them or, help them get to justice. Now you got to go down to the precinct and you have to talk to a SA specialist or a detective. And then that detective is going to have to talk to the prosecutor. And then we got to talk to lawyers. And then we got to talk to the judge. And if it goes to trial, we got to get on the stand. So at every juncture of getting justice, you have to constantly relive the absolute worst day of your life. And you also don't have the luxury. If you have the fortune or misfortune, it depends on who you're asking, of being a black woman, you cannot leave out any details. So you have to tell this exact story over and over again to nauseam. Because if you leave out anything, your whole story, you're a liar. All of that is for naught, potentially. So I can see how Karen is apprehensive about it, and I would as well. So that's my take on it. All right. We see Tony, and he is still holding the couch down as if it is going to float away on its own if he decides to get his ass up and do anything productive. Danny's getting ready for work, and she tells him, like, listen, let's not get used to riding the relaxation train. Like, let's not. You're just giving one step above homeless. I'm just saying, like, there's limits to my hold you down. And girl, I'm with you when I'm with you. I'm only going to hold you down but for so much, because boots on the ground. Let's get some fire up under you. Anyway, she encourages him to do something productive today. Not sit on the couch, not look out the window, not have his head in the rainbows. And he's like, listen, I've had a job since I was 14, and I want to explore the freedom of not having one, to see what this new normal is like, to see what I can figure out about myself. And she was like, I understand. Appreciate you. Understand your awareness. But I don't want you to get too comfortable. I want you to turn into a baby boy. I want you to turn into Jody sitting on this couch. So understand your self-exploration. Feel what you're saying. But the bill collector's still going to want their just due. So just saying. And I, as somebody that's had a job since, I don't know, let's say 15, 16, somewhere around that age, I understand, like, hey, a break is due. A break is necessary. But I also know the older you get, the more you accumulate, and people want that money. So you're going to have to figure out how to balance, figure out who you are outside of the job situation, or figure out what your passions are while still bringing in a paycheck. Unfortunately, it's the country we live in. We don't have a lot of luxuries, unfortunately. So you got to figure it out, Tony. Because I could just see Danny now putting you out, with no qualms about it. So, yeah. All right, so Uncle Ben, Father Time, Mr. Frank, whatever you want to call him, he is, I don't know if I alluded to the fact that he had left earlier, but not quite. He is sitting up eating cereal and milk like a freaking 5-year-old, looking at the TV and low-key looking at Sabrina's purse, and she's like, you know what? It's time to go. Like, he's trying to get back to business, like I probably said earlier, and she was like, don't worry about it. I'm waving the white flag. I'm good. You go ahead and head on out about your business. All right. So Andy gets to the office, and there are flowers, a beautiful bouquet of flowers. And so she calls Dr. Vaughn to thank him for the flowers. And he was like, you know, appreciate the sentiment, would love to take the credit, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And he was like, but while I have you on the line, I do want to apologize for the way that I responded to your inquiries the night before. I understand what you're trying to do. I understand you're passionate about what you got going on or what you want to do to get justice for your friend. And I don't hold that against you, just so we're clear. And so he was like, but I would, you know, it appears as if you were happy about the flowers being for me, even with how last night ended up. So I want to keep pursuing this thing, keep getting to know each other. And he's like, okay. And she, you know, she agrees. All right. We want to keep getting to know each other. And he also tells her, like, listen, I want to help. Just give me a little bit of time to figure out how I can help being in the unique situation that I'm in, which is no more than fair. You know, I'm not mad at him about it. What I am mad about the fact is him, Dr. Vaughn, and Andy getting to know each other. Much too soon. Much too soon. No mas. No, no, no. Remind you, for as long as Baby Forever is gone, add 1 day to that. Add 1 day to that. Maybe the day before. Maybe the night before. Because I'm trying to think. Because when... Oh my God. When the guy... I don't remember the guy that was trying to get vengeance and Gary's ex-wife, all that night where, you know, where he got Hudson got unalived and all that stuff happened. I think it was the next day, or was it the same night that Karen ended up rushed to the hospital, you know, with Baby Forever and the complications and the blackout and all the other stuff. Can't really remember the timeline, but keep in mind, it's been the same amount of time, if not a little bit longer, by a day or two, that she narrowly escaped death. You don't have time. You need to mull over the fact, like, you know, Hudson was after you. Jasmine was after you for however long since she fell off the parking garage to trying to unalive you in the office. How Gary has gone MIA, even though he's been damn near stalking, harassing, and controlling you for I don't know how many years at this point. Like, you got a lot to figure out. You also got Robin that just expressed his love in the voicemail the same night when you was about to get unalived and you couldn't answer your phone. Girl, it's too much. It's too much. Everybody just calm down. Everybody just be by themselves for a little bit. And let's just focus on helping Karen. That's what I think. All right. Moving right along. So, Maurice is and Paige. Maurice and Paige. No, they ain't. Maurice and... No. Paige and Sabrina. They come rolling in from the night before with sunglasses on and, you know, everybody got a headache because they did too much the night before. And Sabrina lets Paige and Maurice know, like, she failed the mission from the night before. The one night stand, the hot girl summer, all that has been a fail, and she don't know if she's gonna be able to do it. Of course, Maurice is gonna continue to push her to, you know, find this freedom, but in this moment we're just getting an update. And then Maurice is like, you know, if Uncle Ben couldn't get it up, why didn't you give him some oral motivation? And she was like, you know, I considered it. But when he told me he didn't return no favors, I was like, no, sir. No, ma'am. And I'm not mad at you, girl. I'm not mad about it at all because you can't figure. I got to figure it out. So shall you, my friend. What are we talking about here? All right. But Paige is like, you know, I'm sorry about your fail, nice Sabrina, but girl, I had the time of my life. So she met this tall, dark, and handsome gentleman at the bar last night. And she took him home with her and she rode him like a cowboy. Like it just went on and on and on and on. Let Paige tell it. It was her first rodeo. It was her first dip in the chocolate. And she's sold. She's here and she ready to whip up her potato salad and get her some box braids and call it a day. And I, for one, it was cool. It was cool that one night, girl, but don't get not too much on the fetishizing. Now let everybody just calm down. Okay? All right. Okay. Andy family reads the note on the flowers and she sees that the flowers are for Fatima, and she takes them to her and sees that there are dozens and dozens and dozens more in her office. And Andy assumes, like, okay, like, did you screw up? Did Zach screw up? Like, what's going on here? And she's like, they're not from Zach. It's from one of the basketball players, I think Chaz, for some paperwork that she helped him out with earlier in the week. And then it reminds her, like, listen, girl, we could both get in big trouble for you practicing law without a license. Like, remember, you're just a intern, so to speak. And Fatima, she was like, I know, but I feel like it would have been a missed opportunity considering you, which Fatima, I understand. I'm trying to save these clients while you are in the midst of going through your mental breakdown after the almost unalive and everything else that Andy had on her mind. She was trying to ease her plate. But I wish Fatima also would have told Andy, like, girl, Miss Willis asked me for this favor, like, directly to my face, like, personally asked me for this favor. Now, everybody outside of her godson, I can understand you feeling a way about. But, yeah. Either way, she didn't want them to miss out on the opportunity. And Andy's like, I understand, but I don't feel that comfortable with you making these types of decisions because there's no way for me to cover for you or speak for you or anything else when I'm not aware. So I just need you to make me aware. Like, CC me on all emails from here forward. Like, you need to bring me in the loop. And then Hayden rose up and she was like, oh. And Hayden's like, oh, she's good. I'm helping her. So Andy's looking like, when did this become an allegiance? Like, what the hell is really going on? And so, yeah. All right. Karen is back with Dr. Vaughn for her checkup. Let's just say 1 week checkup. Don't know the time frame. And she claims that she's starting to feel more like herself, but, you know, something's still a little off. And he asked her about Faith's first pediatrician appointment. And she was like, oh, I don't know nothing about that, sir. My mama took her. And he was like, you know, that's strange because a first-time mom wants to be involved in all of these things. And I mean, even a new mom, I'm assuming, I ain't nobody's mama, but, you know, a new mama, a first-time mom, they want to be involved in every detail. So that gave him some flags to really ask her, like, hey, how's your mental? And she admits that she doesn't really understand what's going on. She's angry, but she's also very numb. And he tells her, like, listen, which is understandable. Like, giving birth, bringing somebody to the planet it's a lot to go through. Sans everything else that you experienced in your process. So to compound all that on each other is a lot. And I just implore you to take your time and give yourself some grace. Don't beat yourself up too hard about it. And she tells him, like, she feels like something is missing. And he tells her that she might be having postpartum depression. All right, so we know this is going to be a bit of a battle for her. And he assures her that, you know, you're not the first woman to go through it. You're not the last. Many women have gone through it. And she's like, okay, so what is your recommendation, Dr. Vaughn? Like, what do you think I should do? And he's like, listen, there's support groups, there's medication, there's even therapists that specialize in postpartum depression. And, you know, here's the pamphlet. Look up the information when you get time. And I'll always be here to help you if you need me. And that was really nice. That was really, really wholesome scene. And she's like, well, what happens if none of this works? And I just want to walk and just keep going. Like, I don't know how to get up out of this thing. And he was like, just, you know, give it a try. Give it a try. If one thing doesn't work, we'll keep trying. So that was good. That was real hopeful for her. And we'll see how it works out for her. All right. Zach gets a delivery at the house. And of course it ain't for him, it's for Fatima. It is from Mr. Chaz. It is a huge, huge box, a gift box that was left on the front porch. And he looks in the box and it's a K. Richards purse, which with me looking at the purse, it looks like a Brandon Blackwood purse. Y'all let me know if y'all think that as well, because I think it's like the bamboo earring detailing on the purse. Girl, that's just what I think it was. I don't know why, what didn't clear as to why they couldn't say that it was a Brandon Blackwood bag. Is it? Yeah, Brandon Blackwood, I think it's his name. Black-owned purse designer. But I will be interested in knowing that. Anyway, he sees the purse. It's this huge box with this tiny little purse in there. And he's wondering now, how would he have known that Fatima wants this bag? So now he's back on this basketball player hate train, and he's watching the man's highlights and the reels. He's like, yeah, he's trash. So now he's about to mull over this stuff, and he's about to have yet another strike against Mr. Chaz without having even met the man yet. So, yeah, so we're going to keep that going. All right, so we see Tony. He's home playing the game. Danny's been calling him for him to bring her lunch. Her good oxtails and rice and peas and everything else that she had him out set on for lunch, but he ain't answering. So she shows up at the house because I'm leaving. I'm gonna go ahead and spend my lunch break checking out what the hell you got going on, because there ain't no job going on, ain't nothing productive going on. What's up with the phone call? And so she's looking for her lunch, and she walks in and she was like, listen, I was here. I was calling about my lunch, and he was like, "Oh, the oxtails, the rice peas, the cabbage. I don't really know. All I remember is oxtails. I don't know everything else that was in the meal." And she was like, "Please, come on, man. Come on, man." Like Boosie said, "Don't tell me you ate my food." And he was like, "Oh, I thought you made that for me." And she was like, Think about it, Tony. You think I woke up early, got my lunch prepared for you when you at home all day you home for 9 to 5. You have as much free time and liberty to figure out anything that you want to eat. And you think that I made that for you?" And of course he's just sitting there looking stupid. How am I supposed to fix it? And she was like, "Well, you need to go ahead and replace my lunch, and dinner is also on you, because what's wrong with you?" So we got that figured out. And then the toilet flushes in the back room. We know that this is a studio apartment or whatever. There's only one room, one way in, one way out. And she was like, I know you got no girl back here in my apartment while I'm at work. That's what I don't. That's what I know you don't. So she ups the poker. She ups the knife. And she's headed towards the bathroom. She's like, "Whoever in there, go ahead and come up out of here, because I'm finna gut you and Tony like a fish. So let's go ahead and get the show on the road." And so the person comes out of the bathroom, and Tony's just like, "It ain't what you think. It ain't what you think." And she don't want to hear none of that. She don't want to hear a damn thing about it. And the person comes out of the bathroom, child, spraying everything like Pops from Friday. And it is her delinquent cousin that showed up at the airport. Now, I don't know how in the hell him and Tony hooked up. Maybe he knocked on the door and Tony answered it and invited him in, a complete stranger to him. Surely. Either way, so now this cousin is going to be a fixture, I'm sure, throughout this season and next. Yeah. All right. So Fatima calls and she tells Zach, like, "Hey, what you doing?" He's like, "I'm just chilling," or whatever. Of course, he's just being real, like, short, one word. You know, he being real mad about something that doesn't exist, right? And she was like, "Well, guess what? I got a money making opportunity that I came across for you." He's like, "Oh yeah, what? Tell me more about it." And she was like, "You remember Chaz I was telling you about, right? Like, you know, the young basketball player." He was like, "Yeah." "Oh, Chaz." And she was like, "Yeah, he's looking for somebody to invest in real estate. And, you know, I know that's your field. So I'm gonna hook y'all up so y'all can talk business, talk money. Like, let's get this money." And he was like, "Okay. Go ahead and set that meeting up. Like, I really want to meet him." "Yeah, good. Yeah, because he's got good taste." Like, Zach is really on like some demon time, like some setup stuff. Like I said, all that misdirected anger and all that. And so now he's excited about the meeting because he knows he's about to go start some crap with Mr. Chaz. And Fatima is just like, okay, yeah, we can get him some money. And they're just damn oblivious, child. As if you don't know your person or nothing. I'm like, something in your tone ain't right. Something in the milk ain't clean. But either way, we know that they're going to come to blows next episode. And we'll figure out the rest from there. Either way, that's been another review of Sistas Season 9, Episode 9. Let me know what y'all think about the episode in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. In the meantime, like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is you feel like doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.